Hello everybody, today we are reviewing popular book talk books. This is part 2. If you haven't seen my first one, go and watch it. And my name is Sophie if you are new here as well. Very exciting. I'm just going to delve in quickly. I think I've got like 9 or 10 books to go through with you today that I've recently read that have either popped off on TikTok before or are currently in that booktube book talk stratosphere that everyone is talking about them. So without ado, let's start off with one of my favorite authors, and this is none other than Elsie Silver. This is Wild Love. So this is from her new series, the Rose Hill series. Obviously, you know I'm a huge fan of the Chestnut Spring series, so I had high hopes going into this one. I heard good things about it. Some of my favorite booktubers had rated it 5 stars. However, not for me. I think single dad is not one of my tropes, and this whole series is going to be that, which means maybe I'll find one that I love, but I know overall going into it, it may not be my cup of tea. And in this one, we are following Ford Grant. So this is Willa's brother from the Chestnut Spring series, if you didn't already know. He basically used to donate to sperm banks, and one day a young girl shows up on his doorstep claiming to be his daughter, because obviously she had come from one of those IVF situations, so technically he is her biological dad. Then our female love interest is Rosie. This is actually Ford's best friend's sister, so they've known each other their whole lives. It's kind of like a childhood friends to lovers situation. They've both recently moved back to the small town at the same time, so forces are colliding and she ends up working for him as his assistant, and then it kind of just rolls from there. I will say I do love Elsie Silver's writing, so please pick it up. However, I just know that the trope wasn't for me. So for me, I didn't get the hype, but I know so many people did, so pick it up anyway. Next up, we have Saving Six by Chloe Walsh. This is the 3rd book in the Boys of Tommen series. In my previous popular book video, I did speak about Binding 13. However, I thought I would delve into this one because this I see is so many people's favourites. And we're also following almost like a different story. We were now following Joey, who we all know as Shannon's older brother. He is like the carer for all the kids in their situation. So if you don't know, this family has lived in an abusive household their whole life. Their dad is an alcoholic. He comes home, you know, sexually harasses their mother and ends up hitting the kids as well. And this book stole my heart. Joey and Aoife, I also know how to say her name now. Joey and Aoife, I love them. The way they met, like the innocence of being in school again, it took me back to that, and like having a crush on someone. It was very good. Chloe Walsh just grasps me with her writing as well. I know there's a lot of mixed reviews on this book, however, it's right up my street, and I think once you're connected to the characters, then you can do no wrong with Boys of Tommen. It's sensational. The books are so long, however this one felt so quick for me. We basically follow Joey and Aoife from like the first day of secondary school all the way through to leaving, and it's a slow burn. They're friends at first, kind of enemy friendly situation. However, you can just tell there's so much chemistry and they are just a Roman Empire relationship for me. So if you can't tell, I loved this book and I think you will too, so you should definitely pick it up, but definitely start with Binding 13 and Keeping 13 first. Moving on to Belladonna by Adeline Grace. I read this in one of my recent videos where it ends in a 5-star, so go and check this out. But if you already seen it, you know that I am obsessed with this book. I honestly think there hasn't been a day where I haven't thought about it, and especially the character Death. I adore him. Everything he says was so poetic and beautiful. I still need to tab it, but I have a few things highlighted in here. Love it. In this, we are following our main character Signa. She can basically see spirits. She's been able to since she was a baby, when all her family kind of died at one time in front of her, yet she didn't. And then this means that she has almost a mental connection with our character Death. He is someone that helps take someone's spirit and help them pass to the other side after they die. So Signa, Death, enemies, but also infatuated with each other because of this connection, and they've never experienced it before, as you can imagine. So It was so good. We also have a mystery element in this book where Signet is trying to uncover why one of her cousins is being poisoned and who's doing it. So that kept me so grasped, and it was such a fast-paced read for me. Highly recommend, and 100% worth the hype that I've seen people talking about, because before I read this everyone was like, Sophie, pick up Donna, it's on your TBR, you need to read it. And I'm so glad that I finally have. So the last of my little fantasy recommendations for this video anyway, I have got the Cru Prince Trilogy by Holly Black. So I recently read this in a reading vlog, if you haven't seen, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I will be honest that it did take me a while to get through the first book, Cru Prince. I just didn't really grasp the concept. I didn't feel a connection to the characters. However, due to it being a trilogy, it just gives you that time to get to know the characters, their personalities, who you like and don't like. And I fell in love with Carson. I think if he wasn't in it, it wouldn't have been a high series for me. But I do recommend, especially for my YA fantasy readers, this is perfect. It's kind of giving you what ACOTAR does in a way, but fully YA. It's a slow burn, and I mean absolute slow burn. We barely get anything, and it just leaves you wanting more. Overall, I love YA fantasy because the plot, you're given plot, whereas in adult ones sometimes it's spice, a little bit of plot, whereas this, you can't rely on the spice scenes to fill up a book. So the plot was plotting, and thoroughly enjoyed it. Moving on to The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. Honestly, I feel like most books in this video I've absolutely adored, to be honest, because I trust my book talk girlies. If they hype something up, I usually love it. And I'm not afraid to say it, okay? Maybe I'm basic. I'm sorry, I'm not your literary fiction galley that analyzes everything. If it makes me feel something or I have a good time, I love it. And this was exactly that. This is a fake dating scenario between our main character Olive and our main male character Dr. Carlson, also known as Adam. So it starts off by Olive creating a rumor accidentally that she is dating Adam, because basically the situation is that her friend, she can tell, fancies one of the boys that she used to date. So she thinks if she sees me moving on, she might be encouraged to be happy and be with him, because Olive really doesn't mind. So this leads into Adam Carlson and her kind of hanging out, going for coffee, being seen by everyone. They are both scientists as well, and I love that Ali Hazelwood does her research and knows so much about women in STEM. I think it's quite inspirational in a way as well to read about women in a mainly male dominant industry. But this was so much fun, and I definitely need to reread it soon, because it just gives you everything that you need from a rom-com. I would love it to be a movie, but who knows. And then the final book we have, Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I'm sure you may have heard me speak about this before. If you haven't, adored it. It was a 5 stars. I'm sorry. Okay, I love it. It was the perfect, almost giving that nostalgic 2014 rom-com vibes for me. And Lynn Painter's writing was so fast and not beautiful, but it's like easy to read, and it just gave me everything that I needed, like a YA romance. We have got neighbours, enemies to lovers. It's insane. And the next book actually comes out this month in October, and I need to get my hands on it because I want to read it so badly. I think it follows their story where they move on to university, so that is going to be extremely interesting, and I just hope it all works out, because Wes and Liz in this are so cute. They are perfect for one another. It's amazing. So that was my quick little reviews of these popular books that I kind of just seen floating around Book Talk, BookTube, Bookstagram, everything. And I hope I've either convinced you to read them, give them a try, because I generally have enjoyed the majority of these a lot. And as I said before, I do trust in people's recommendations. It's what I kind of choose to mood read off. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you want to see more, and also subscribe to my channel if you want to see my face again, and I'll see you in the next one.